People say gear doesn't matter, but it does. What's going on, guys? I'm Yashai, this is Fireface Films, and today we're talking about my favorite film gear of 2024. But before we do, make sure you drop a like, get subscribed, and click that bell to get notified when we post. Alright, on with this show. When I'm talking about my favorite film gear, this is really about what changed my game in 2024. So what helped me do my job better, what made things more efficient, and what I really just enjoyed. So there was a couple of things. We're gonna start in the camera department. So first, in a big surprise, now this wasn't new to me in 2024, I've been using it since last year, that was the XH2s. This camera it's been shocking to me because ever since 2020, I've been using the Blackmagic Pocket 4K for the longest time, since 2020. And last year, I got the XH2s, mainly to be more of a YouTube camera and then sometimes certain video projects, but this year it really took off for me and allowed me to more easily work on certain jobs, having autofocus lenses and having a bit of a smaller form factor. Well, it was smaller at first until I absolutely rigged it out. You can check out that video up here where I talk about my rig. Yeah, the 6.2K open gauge sensor, it's really nice. I will say there was quite a headache in dealing with F-Log2 before Resolve officially supported it, and now we kind of went over it again with F-Log2C, but it's all been a very interesting learning experience as a colorist too, which is, we'll definitely talk about color in a bit because I'm a big nerd about that one. But yeah, I would say the XH2s and actually having an autofocus camera that is reliable and not having to futz with manual focus lenses in, you know, tighter situations that are a little bit more unpredictable, that is something to that, and I really enjoyed that. And then next up, I gotta say, hand in hand with the XH2s, the XF 16-55 2.8, it is a godsend, truly good. It's a really just reliable workhorse, and this year the Mark II dropped, which I'm not particularly interested in because this one does the job just fine. And I will say, it was touted for a very long time as being the 3 primes in 1 type situation because of the razor sharp quality of the lens, and I can attest to that, almost to the point of being too sharp sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I really used to question when people would say that lenses are too sharp, but sometimes when I do see this lens and camera combo, I'm like, wow, that's razor sharp. So then I put on my vintage manual focus lens sometimes, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a little bit more pleasing. So yeah, the 16-55, that's been a good combo, especially with this camera. I love that together. And I think maybe I might get to 50-140 so I can have more of that kind of long range action. I did rent that on a job for a wedding. I shot a wedding for the first time this year, and it was really useful. That 50-140 was really useful. I might have to rent that again just to see how it felt. And yeah, that's something big. This camera and lens combo allowed me to shoot my first wedding. That was a very big deal to me. I don't think it would have been possible with the Pocket 4K. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it would not have been as easy. Running around all over this large manor, trying to get these cute moments with the bride and groom would have been a nightmare with my giant Pocket 4K rig. So yeah, the XH2s made that possible. I actually rented a second one for my second shooter so we could have maximum coverage. So yeah, that's how much I really liked that combo. And then I think something I really, really enjoyed. It's my favorite tool of everything. I gotta show you guys this right here. So my wireless transmission setup, right? So right now on the camera, I've got the Accsoon Cineview HE transmitter. So again, this is what we're talking about here, the Accsoon Cineview HE. This is not new to 2024, but I love this thing. Being able to actually wirelessly monitor a feed has changed my workflow. Like, it's great when I'm on client projects and I can just say, here, take this, go sit over there, and just sit back and relax and watch what's going on with the camera. Or for me, when I'm trying to light certain scenes, I can just set the camera aside and then walk around set with the camera in position and be, okay, let's put up this key here, let's put up the backlight here, let's put up the fill here, and I can see that. Like, yes, as a cinematographer, sometimes you should be able to light things without a monitor. That is very true, that's valid. I'm not there yet. I will get there hopefully one day, but for right now, this makes my job as a cinematographer and sometimes gaffer easier. I actually talked about that in my aperture lighting video, link in the description, where I used this to great effect of actually being able to see what we were trying to do while we were walking around the environment, like turning on lights. And this thing is epic. There's I'm not gonna say this is the one you should be going for, because there's like 1,000,001 wireless transmission systems out there, but this one for me has been great. I will say one big insane nitpick to me though, it's not insane to nitpick this, it's just insane that it happens, is just that you can't buy replacement antennas, which I'm just like, that's kind of ridiculous, because it comes with 4 for the transmitter, 4 from the receiver, and 1 spare. Well, I lost one, so now I'm just down to the 8 that I have. So it would be nice if you could buy a replacement antenna. That's something I honestly don't see a lot of wireless companies do. Like, if someone does know this, please tell me. I would love to know where you can get replacement antenna, but a lot of wireless transmission systems don't sell replacement antennas. So if you lose them, what do you do? And then, last but not least for the camera department, I gotta say my favorite, that was my favorite. Something that changed the game for me was actually finally moving over to V-mount batteries. For the longest time, I felt like I didn't need them. And now that I actually have one, having one big battery to power camera, transmitter, monitor, whatever, time code, whatever I might throw in the camera, one battery to power it all instead of a bunch of individual NPFs it's crazy. I'm shocked at myself for not having done it sooner. If you think that you don't need a V-mount, or you're considering getting a V-mount, get one. It will save your life. Now, it's all about figuring out what's the appropriate power capacity and whatnot. I just went for the max and got a 200 watt just so I could make sure I'm safely powered for a really long time. So yeah, that's V-mount batteries changed cameras for me, and I'm ready to get more. But then the big thing, the kind of con about V-mount batteries, and obviously we all kind of know this, is just the weight. Because given the battery that I got, the ZG Cine S200, that doubles damn near the weight of my rig. So that's a big consideration. Now, in the audio department, I only have one contender here, and that is the Deity Theos, the very recorder that I'm using right now. This thing is a revelation. Oh my God. For years, we've only been using the Rode Wireless Pro for our wireless audio solutions, and this blows it out of the water. We got this to actually shoot that wedding, so we could mic up the bride and groom and be super far away. Like Ryan, my dedicated sound man, love you Ryan, he was like at least 1,500 feet away, and he was sitting there with the receiver that far away from the bride and groom while the ceremony was going on. It was an outdoor wedding, and getting clean audio. It was amazing. And right now, the way I'm using it to record this, they are individual recorders. Although, if I didn't live in the US, I could transmit and record at the same time, but thanks, Accsoon. But this thing is amazing. It really outshines every single other wireless system in this price point. Like, there's nothing that comes close to this. Sony UWP? No. Sennheiser, whatever, no. This is the king at this price point. The only thing that's going to be better than this is if you start moving up to like Sound Devices, A20 system, and all that, which then you're in a totally different price point. But this is amazing. And once the D4 RX eventually comes out, we will definitely be adding another set of Theoses to our wireless setup. We actually just did a video about the Tascam recorder we use, and I want to get rid of my Rode Labs. I want to get rid of those and move to an entirely Deity system. Deity is killing it right now. They are making a whole bunch of awesome stuff. And it's really a shame, just a bit of an aside, that the DXTX and the DLTX aren't releasing in the US, because the DLTX, what I was really, actually I guess either one, because it would have fulfilled the same purpose, which I was really excited for, to be doing wireless boom. That's something I really wanted to come, but it's probably not going to happen for a while, at least until whatever patent that Accsoon has expires, which soon, please. I want that. I want that for my kit. But yeah, Deity Theos for the audio game is fantastic. I'm not going to say it's for everyone, because you might not need UHF and all the features and bells and whistles that this needs, but if you know where you're at in your sound career, or videography career, of needing something like that, it is a real game changer. I don't like saying game changer much, but this, for me and my work, really was a game changer. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about something, I'm not gonna say niche, but not as common, and that's gonna be color grading. Now, I am a DP, I'm a colorist. I love the science and just thinking about how colors work, not how colors make you feel, but how the science of colors. And to me, there were 3 big things that really stood out to me about color this year. The first one, a big one, was Cullen Kelly's Contour plugin for DaVinci Resolve. So essentially what that is a plugin designed all around look development. I am a sucker for like building strong looks. As you might have noticed on the channel, like most of my videos, even though they're all here, they never look the same because I'm always constantly hunting for a new look. I'm trying something new, seeing what's new, and this is a safe space to do it, literally. So I like to try new things, and Contour gives me the ability to do that because it's a very well built and laid out and concise tool to build everything and manipulate so many things. You can create split tones, you can create custom contrast curves, you can create, I've never seen this before, like saturation curves where you can, my prime LUT that I'm using right now, I have a reverse saturation curve where darker things are more saturated and brighter things are less saturated. There's so many things that Contour can let you do for your color grade and your look development, building stronger visual looks. Contour, another game changer, truly. There's nothing like Contour right now. And I will say, it is pricey. At $850, Contour is gonna hurt to get. But if you're serious about color, like if you are day in, day out making money on coloring, that is a tool that you cannot skip out on. And then another one for me, it was FilmConvert Nitrate. Now, I say this with an asterisk because I've been using FilmConvert since 2021. But I hadn't been using it as much for the last about year and a half because once I transitioned to a DaVinci White Gamut color workflow, FilmConvert doesn't really work with that because it's not supported within that color framework. But what I have been using more is the grain from FilmConvert Nitrate. I really enjoyed that because I had been using Dehancer for a while, and there's a whole can of worms there, which I'm not going to get into at this moment. There's a video that will be coming about talking about Dehancer versus FilmConvert. But I like the grain from FilmConvert. I always have grain on everything that I do, even if it's just a slight amount. I really don't enjoy just straight digital imagery. There's something to it. And just that smidge of grain, just to give it some life, some texture, I enjoy that. And FilmConvert, it's been giving me what I've been looking for. And on the render side of things, my MacBook, I just have an M1 Pro. On my desktop, absolutely yoked. On the desktop, it doesn't matter. But on my MacBook, when I am doing a lot of editing these days, it seems, FilmConvert isn't a massive render or just performance killer like Dehancer is, or even the new FilmLook Creator. So yeah, FilmConvert has been nice. And then another thing is, I beta tested their new diffusion plugin, Hazy. So I had been beta testing that since the late summer, and I put in a few notes, and I think maybe some of them got listened to. I can't be for certain, but it was really cool to test out Hazy. I actually have it on this video right now, so you can see what it's like. I don't know which one I'm using. I'll put it right here, which diffusion filter I'm using. But yeah, I really enjoyed being able to do digital diffusion. That has been really sick, because I'm not a fan of actually baking in diffusion filter looks in camera, just because I am a fan of clean acquisition, clean looks, like as little noise as possible. I'm not gonna say I'm on the Deacon's level of like, I don't wanna see flares ever, but I enjoy clean images, and being able to dial in a diffusion look in post is invaluable. Okay, so to close out, we're gonna talk about grip and lighting, and I gotta say, it's Aperture Amaran takeover for me this year. As previously mentioned with my Aperture Amaran video, it's really been illuminating to be using their product family and change how I work with lighting. And as far as a fixture, something that I had ignored for however long it had been out until this year was the Amaran 60X. This light is awesome. I'm actually using it as my fill light right now, and I actually have another one. I love how much of a punch that it packs in such a small form factor. Like, if you switch out the stock, like if you get rid of this little crap dome, and then if you get rid of that dome and then put on like a regular Bowens mount reflector dome, you can get some crazy punch out of this, and get rid of that stupid hotspot too. But you can get crazy performance out of this thing, especially if you have more sensitive cameras. Yeah, you can get a lot of output out of this, and it's really useful, and this form factor is amazing. It can be battery powered. In the box, it comes with a dual NPF power thing. I would rather just get the V-mount cable, because I will be getting more V-mounts to power stuff like this to go for longer. It's fantastic. And one thing though, the styrofoam case it comes in it's a 2-pack of ass. I hate it. I'm looking into some kind of bag to carry them both in, because that case is terrible. Now granted, my second one that I just got, does have the revised case design where it doesn't have as heavily molded of an inner case, because the first version of this case, it's very hard to get everything in there in a normal way. You have to basically put it in the way that it came, which is really frustrating to do every single time, whereas the new one has more of a forgiving inner molding. And yeah, I love this thing. I'm really curious to see how I can use it more. And then the most important thing for lighting for me this year was Sidus Link Pro. There you have Sidus Link on the phone, which was cool for a long time, but Sidus Link Pro for iPad is awesome. The sheer amount of features that it has and the control over lights you can do. Granted, I don't have the full suite of what is available because I only have one DMX fixture at the moment, so you can't get as in-depth and do everything that you might really want to do with it with Amaran fixtures, and hopefully over time I might get some more full-on aperture fixtures so I can get more out of it. But as of right now, Sidus Link Pro is amazing. Being able to control all of my lights from one source is invaluable, especially on film sets where you have a lot of lights going. Again, I'm gonna bring up that lighting video, the aperture lighting video. Please check that out. What we were able to accomplish using that was invaluable. Like, that film wouldn't have worked without Sidus Link Pro. It would not have been the same. And if I can use a clip from it, I will show you guys. And if not, hopefully they post that film is public soon, so you guys can see it and see what I'm talking about. If at any point it might change in the future, keep a look in that one in the description so you can see it in full. But that film, it was a learning experience. Sidus Link Pro is something that has elevated my ability to work with lighting. I don't want to sound like an infomercial, but being able to control lighting remotely and not have a CRMX system, because that's a whole different setup, and I would enjoy that, but it's out of my scope right now. It's great. It's just great. And if you are into a lighting ecosystem, and there's a lot of ecosystems these days, we all know that this is not one to shy away from. It works well. So yeah, Sidus Link and all the aperture Amaran fixtures I've been working with are awesome. That's my favorite stuff from lighting this year. And actually that's everything that I loved gear-wise in 2024. I'm not in a position to be doing all the crazy gear reviews all the time. I just talk about what I use and how it works for me, and I gotta say, I loved it. I loved everything that we did this year, everything that I worked with this year. A lot of new revelations, a lot of lessons learned. So people say gear doesn't matter, but it does, to a point. It's all about getting the gear that's gonna help you do your job. And that comes down to you evaluating what you need. Like, you have to really look into and decide what works for me and what I'm trying to do. And that's everything that I worked with this year was selective for me to identify a problem of what wasn't working, what can I get that's gonna work better for me. No unnecessary gear acquisition syndrome, as much as I can help it. We can't avoid it. We're filmmakers, we're gear lovers, we're tech heads. We can't avoid that. But really pinning down what I needed to do my job better. And that's why this is my favorite gear. It helps me do my job better. And that's what it's all about. Creating more striking visuals, creating a better story, you know? And it helped me do that. And I love that. And I'll say that gear, it's not gonna make you better. It's just gonna help you get better. And there's a difference. That's gonna do it for us today. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you drop a like, get subscribed. Please get subscribed and click that bell to get notified when we post. This is the last video of 2024. In 2025, we as filmmakers, we're gonna get out there and we're gonna kill it, all right? That's what's gonna happen next year. All right, guys, love you, and see you next year.